Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my friends. This is Dylan with Tucson Future Classics, and that is our 2023 Kia EV6 GT. That's right, this is the EV6 GT, not the GT line. This is the full performance package, the spicy one. But before I get into what makes the GT, let's talk about this particular car and its platform. This 2023 is a one-owner lease return coming to us out of the San Diego area in California. It's got 63,500 miles on it, and the previous owner, looking back at the Carfax vehicle history reports, shows that they took care of basically all of their scheduled maintenance at the selling dealer, making sure that they kept up on things like tire rotations, fluids, and maintenance inspections, which are important on a high-performance EV like this. They laid the groundwork so you can enjoy this for even longer. Now, the platform this is built on is Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis's eGMP electric vehicle platform. It's got a 77.5 kilowatt hour battery pack under it. It's an 800 volt architecture, which means it charges faster than basically any other EV on the road. You can outcharge even Teslas at their superchargers because it can run a 350 kilowatt hour ultra fast charger, whereas most Tesla superchargers, even the newest ones, top out at about 275 kilowatts. Now, this can charge from a Tesla supercharger with a CCS to NACS adapter, but I'll talk about that in a minute. And running your normal level 2 at-home charging, this will go 0 to 100 in about 7 hours. Fast charging will take this from 0 to 80% in about 18 minutes. So it's pretty impressive stuff. Now, as for this being the GT, you really only get the one badge here on the back that says GT, but there are some other clues. The most obvious are these wheels and tires. These are big 21 inchers shot in ultra high performance rubber, nice super sticky stuff, and they all have these neon green calipers on oversized brake rotors. So they completely redid the braking and the suspension system on this thing to help reel it in, because that 800 volt architecture allows the dual motors on this to put down 575 horsepower, and it'll crack off a 0 to 60 in right about 3.5 seconds. That puts it in the same territory as a Lucid Air Grand Touring, Tesla Model Y or Model 3 Performance, even the spiciest of the Mustang Mach-E GTs or Rallies, and this will outcharge all of them. The engineering on this is pretty cool, and it's really just a bucket of fun. So while I could talk about the engineering all day, let's actually experience it. I'll get you up under the hood, in the car, and out for a rip. Let's get to it. So first and foremost, I mean, this is an EV. There's not going to be a ton to talk about up front under here. But like all of the vehicles on this platform, really good packaging. You get a little weatherproof center storage here. This one's got the wheel lock set and the spare lug nuts in it. So when you need to deal with tire changes, you actually have the key to unlock your wheels, which if you've ever lost one of those, you know is a bad time. And for maintenance, super straightforward. Your washer fluid is here. Your coolant reservoir is here. On the driver's side, you've got a pretty fresh Duralast Gold battery here. Your brake fluid reservoir is up there, and your fuse box is right here. That's all there is to worry about under the hood of this thing. Getting into the back of the EV6, we could push the button up underneath, but I don't want to bend. So I'll hold on the key fob, and up that power lift gate goes. Opens up to a pretty big cargo area, and this one was opted with the EV6 rubber protective mats. And up underneath, standard fare, little cargo area and a false floor, which runs all the way forward for like long skinny stuff you want to hide out of the sun or out of sight. And up underneath this is the subwoofer for the Meridian premium sound system in here. Back here, also got little 12-volt power outlet, couple of lights, and this guy here. These back seats do fold completely flat and make for a pretty darn good storage area. So, you know, because sometimes you got to haul more than ass, you got to haul stuff in your high performance EV. One other cool thing, shut this really quick. Here on the charge port door, this does one other really neat party trick. It can run what's called a V2L, or vehicle to load. I'm waiting to get the new adapter from Kia, so I can't show you it right now, but you plug an adapter in here. On the back side of that adapter is a standard household wall outlet. It lets your car run 16 amps at 120 volts and turns it into a giant portable power bank. You can run fridges, little cooktops, lights, whatever, for car camping or emergency power outages. It's really, really neat. And I'll show you that more in a little bit. There's also a port in the back, which I'll show you right now. Before I climb all the way into the back seat of the EV6 GT, here's that other V2L port I was telling you all about. This one, standard household outlet inside as well. So this one doesn't need an adapter. It's ready to go now. The one on that back charge port needs the adapter, which we will have here shortly. But now as I climb into the back of this, you'll see, because this is the GT, you get that pleather and the Alcantara, the cool neon green stitching throughout to match your brake calipers. And because at the end of the day, this is still an EV6, you get a good long wheelbase, reclining rear seats, and a bunch of room. This is my own driver's seat, back and up for filming. So it's hard for me to make less room for me back here. And I'll turn you around and show you what I mean right now. So as you can see, I'm a big sweaty dude, 6'1", 275 pounds, great gut room, acres of knee room, shoulder and headroom abounds back here. Spinning around one more time. Backseat passengers get a couple good amenities back here too. USB-C fast chargers for both sides, their own discrete and adjustable air vents, heated seats for both, and here on the door, like every single door speaker on here, badged Meridian sound for that premium sound system. If you need to haul the kiddos around in a hurry, you've got the latch child seat anchors down below, and on the backs of these seats are the big top tethers for booster seats. This also has the obligatory cup holder armrest here in the middle. So they didn't skimp on comfort back here, that is for sure. Plus, I don't know if I said it before, but I'll turn you around again. These back seats recline, and I have them all the way back. If you have to mix cargo and people, you can stand them up almost vertically, still got headroom, still got leg room. So really modular and really spacious back here, especially for a kind of long shooting brake style wagon. You're not sacrificing headroom for aerodynamics and speed. Before we jump in, I want to show you all something pretty wild on this. Not only does it have remote start, but it has summon mode. So to engage that, lock it, hold remote start till it lights up, and then if you're within about 5 to 10 feet of the car, you can hold forward or backward, and it'll pull itself into or out of a particularly tight parking spot for you. I'm driving it with the key fob right now. That's far enough forward. Let's go backwards. Come on, little buddy. Yeah, how wild is that? So now that we've driven the car from the key fob, let's actually get in it, push some buttons, and go over everything you're going to interact with on a day-to-day basis in the EV6 GT. Before we even climb in, I want to point out, decent sized door pocket here with a cutout for a water bottle. Again, a badge calling out that Meridian premium surround system. And this being the GT, you get the pleather and Alcantara suede deep bucket seats. These are manual to save weight and electrical energy to make it, faster and more efficient. And if you really get wild, those two cutouts there, you could route a 5-point racing harness through if you were ever so inclined. Now, let's get the AC going for me before we get into anything else. Power button is right there. Wakes right up, comes to life. I'm actually going to adjust the seat just a touch, another notch up to get it extra comfy. And yeah, the bolstering on this is good. It will absolutely hold you in place. But onto the buttons. On the driver's door here, window lock, power windows, power locks, power mirrors, and if you push that top button, they do fold in for sneaking in and out of tight spaces, and then using the summon mode to get it back out. Down here, this is the dimmer for your center console. That will open your charge door. If you hold this down with the back at a set height, it will actually set the hold height so this doesn't open into a ceiling automatically. Electronic parking brake here, and your burnout / hooligan button, your traction control, is right here. Moving on to the wheel, this will look like any other like Hyundai or Kia style steering wheel, with a couple notable exceptions, mostly being that guy there. That's the GT button to engage the full performance mode on this thing, but I'll get into that when we're actually driving. For the normal stuff, automatic headlights on this side, standard blinker stock here. One cool feature on this, it opens the blind spot camera as you turn your blinker on to show down the side, which is a really, really nice feature to, you know, just make you that much more aware of your surroundings. On the back of the wheel, we've got your paddles here. They control regen, and there's a trick I'll show you later, but if you hold both paddles in and the brake down with traction control off, this does have a Kia factory-made Kia drift mode in it, which is pretty neat. Wiper stalk is here, and then on the wheel itself, your cruise control controls for the adaptive cruise and your screen control for your center display are right here. So this has a bunch of different information you can go through. Efficiency, turn-by-turn nav, showing actual tire-by-tire power being put down. Those are little torque reads that'll show you how much you're putting down at all four corners, and tire pressure there, as well as the integrated the adaptive cruise control and the safety suite. It's really hard to tell, but if you just look right about there, you can see my screen doesn't capture well, but this is a full-blown augmented reality heads-up display. There's the projector for it down there. It'll show turn-by-turn navigation, following distance, and everything projected. To my eyes, it's about this big on the windshield in front of me. You can turn it off if you don't like it, but I think it is super cool. Now here on the wheel, you have your drive modes for your normal modes, being Eco, Normal, and Sport. And then again, GT kicks it into GT mode. Everything goes neon green, and this is the mode you put it into when you want to have fun or get in trouble. Like, up to you there. And you'll see that range number changes pretty significantly between the different drive modes, because this thing can put power to all four wheels in a really, really staggering manner. But moving on to the infotainment screen on this side, which some of its controls are mirrored here on the steering wheel for you. It's a really crisp and responsive user interface on this, and it just does everything that Kia and Hyundai do in all their other cars super, super well. So for EV, your basic EV settings like charge times, enabling V2L, that vehicle to load I was telling you about. This is the EV screen. It gives you distance with and without your climate control on. You can set your departure times and your charging status here to take advantage of cheaper off-peak electricity. And under here, you can change how much it charges. Now, personally, on these, I always keep the DC set to 80% and the AC, the standard wall charging, up at 90%, showing a slower at-home charge. But you can play with those as you want. And if you have weaker wiring in your house, you can actually limit the amperage and charging current that this draws from AC to keep you from, burning up old wiring in a garage or what have you. Battery conditioning, if you plug in a charging station in the nav, it will preheat the battery for fastest possible charging, which is pretty sweet. Utility mode lets you keep the vehicle effectively on but not in driving status, and running all of its interior features, climate control, power outlets, all of that. Smart regen, you can dial in the regeneration you want while it's in auto instead of overriding it with the regen paddles here. And then, you can have it always locked or just locked while charging, or never locked for your charge door. And This controls how loud the Kia voice is, because this has a charge port on the back there. When you plug it in and you go to walk away, it will announce charging started in a pleasant but robotic voice, and you can tell it how loud you want that to be, or if you just want to shut up, you can hit off. Other than that, that's the EV specific stuff. Map and nav, this does have native map and navigation built in it, which does a quite good job for a basic built-in navigation system of updating over the air for all new charging stations and everything, to give you really, really good range and charging info. But a cool thing is, if you go to EV range, it pulls up a big ring showing how far graphically you can make it on the range that you have on your battery. Just paints a better picture. Nav does everything you'd expect. Chargers, Kia dealerships that all have free chargers at them, traffic, all sorts of information's in there. But most of you probably want to know about this. Phone projection right here is your Apple CarPlay and your Android Auto. This is a wired system, which means you got to go into that USB port right down here by my foot. But they do make dongles that can plug in there and basically take a wired signal and make it wireless CarPlay if you want to do it that way. Climate does all the normal climate things, allowing you to personalize like driver only, so all the air goes just to you, the driver, for better efficiency. Auto does auto. Seat heaters are plugged in here. This even has a heated steering wheel as well, which is nice. And if you scroll down, you can see all of the different options, even it knowing when it enters a tunnel and kicking over to recirc so you don't suck down a bunch of other people's exhaust. As for the, media and radio, if you're not using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you have got AM, FM, Sirius XM, Bluetooth, or USB, and because this is a Hyundai Kia product, you get sounds of nature. So they give you all these preloaded, peaceful little noises in here that you can, just enjoy and chill, either while you're waiting to pick someone up, or if you're, sitting and charging and just want to relax in the AC and have a peaceful experience. And this being the Meridian, it does have an additional button here that lets you dial in the basically the custom sound mapping that the Meridian Premium sound system can do. Very, very clever stuff. I'll let you dive into all this and personalize the heck out of this car when you come to check it out, because that's what these are really good at. For the other basic stuff down below, this is a dual mode screen. So this is basically shortcuts for the touchscreen up here. You've got map, nav, you can set a specific page to open with the star, seek, track, radio, media, and setup. And then if you touch here, it goes to the climate controls. So now, I'm actually going to set it to auto and recirc and just let it do its thing. But you can dial in how hot you want it, driver and passenger here. You can synchronize them there. How hard you want it, you can override the auto and manually control it there. And this would do where you want it, showing positioning of it. Now, again, this being an EV, plug in the climate temperature you want, set it to auto, and just let it go. It will get there as quickly and as efficiently as possible, saving more electrons for going fast. Down here, heated seats and heated steering wheel for the front passengers. You've got your power button there. Regular load prindle. To the left is reverse. Middle is neutral. This dot here is park. And then all the way to the right is drive. Down below that, you have cameras on and off in real time, so you don't need to be in park to kick on the full camera suite. And yes, this does have the 360-degree camera, which, if you click on it, you can move around your vehicle, and these cameras will stay live, so you can put the camera here and drive this thing GTA style on the screen at low speeds only. But, you could do that. It's pretty neat. I like cars with a sense of fun about them. Auto hold keeps you from rolling when you take your foot off the throttle. And then these are your parking sensors. Here in the middle, I'm going to move my two other phones, but this is a wireless charging pad. Pop a phone on there, and it will detect and start charging. Standard fare cup holders here in the middle, and then a big center console that can swallow even this big old Yeti water bottle there. So good space optimization in this car. Other than that, there is a sunroof up here. Being in the desert, I would personally keep it shut. However, the controls for it are right here, and it does all the usual things. Screen goes back. Big sunroof goes back. So wide open, as close to a panoramic as you can get with the aerodynamic shape it needs to maintain. And the one good thing about these down here is when you first get in the car, you can just crack it open and let it vent all the stale air out by pushing up on it. So when you push up, it goes back again, and it pops to vent. So now the vacuum of you moving draws all the hot air up and out, making your AC that much more efficient and cooling you that much more quickly. But I think that's about enough in here, other than, you know, cool storage down here. You've got even more charge points, and there's so much to see and explore in this vehicle. I'm not doing it justice sitting right here. So you've got to come down and push some buttons and sit in it for yourself. But let's get to the really good part. Let's get to the drive. All right. Dropping down into the parking garage here, I've got every window open, and we're just in good old eco mode. So we're going to come through here just normally, quietly, and, you know, show off that there's nothing hiding in the suspension system, no clunks or anything like that. Because if there was anything, we'd hear it echoing off the walls. But yeah, EV, they're super quiet. The only noise they make is what's federally mandated below 20 miles an hour. But as we go around here, you can hear the tires scrubbing on the concrete, my hands on the wheel, but that's about it. And even with us being in eco mode, which is the most muted throttle on this, I'll give it a little squeeze and then hit the brakes on this downhill to make it work a little bit, so you can hear that there's no noise coming from either of them. Nice. My dealer plate rattled around in the back, but that is A-okay. And the last piece of the puzzle for tight maneuvering and stuff is for parking. So we're going to go next to that pole there, right? Knock it back into park. You've got your overhead and your backup camera. And if you really wanted to, instead of the backup camera, you could pull that 360 camera and spin it around, and it integrates all of the stuff around you. But I'm going to leave it with the traditional backup camera and the bird's eye view. Predictive course lines doing what they're supposed to, and right back and in. And again, this has the full sensor suite, so integrated sonars, radars, even auto brakes, so you don't back into anything. Like those little cable stays behind us, it picked them up and stopped us about 4 inches shy of actually backing into them, which is pretty nice. But yeah, slow speed stuff's cool and all, but let's get out on the highway. Now for merging onto the highway. This is still eco, so it is the most muted throttle you can get on this. But it's still got a lot of shove, even in its most detuned state. That blind view camera there, doing a really good job of keeping my situational awareness up. And let's do a quick double check for real. Yup, it's not lying. Let's make our way over a couple of lanes and show you all a real, true, high-speed highway cruise in this thing. Sensor suite doing its job, letting me know what's going on everywhere. And we're just gonna do a little sneaky sneak. Oh, EVs are fun. Now that we're in the far left lane, let's set that adaptive cruise on. And I'm going to show you all kind of worst case scenario for noise here. That's 80. Road noise, remarkably quiet, even with these big sticky tires. And the wind noise, because of how aerodynamic this thing is great. And I don't know if you can really see it, but that heads-up display there is showing our lane positioning, following distance, actual speed limit on the road that we're on, as well as that it has it synced with nav to give you the most accurate lane tracking and guidance. And that looks like that down here. You can even see the little gray blobs. It's keeping track of the traffic around us. And as we close in on that Chevy Colorado in front, it will actually slow us down off of our 80 mile an hour set cruising speed to maintain proper following distance behind them if they don't accelerate out ahead of us, actually, as they are now. I like it. They got a bit of a hustle going on. But yeah, if you need to road trip this thing, it can 1000% do it. Plus, it's super high-speed charging, means you don't have to be stopped for too terribly long. And it's quiet and it's comfortable, even if you're just doing your normal around-town commutes. In addition to being a properly spicy sports EV, shall we say, or performance EV, this does all the usual commutey stuff. Absolutely great. One other fun thing to note, since I now need to change lanes, with the adaptive on, this will pull up that blind spot, yell you to keep your hands on the wheel, but it'll mark, clear, and even complete a lane changing maneuver for you so it doesn't turn off. You need to do a double, it'll warn you about the car next to you, it'll wait till you're clear, and then bump it again. It waits, it verifies, and over you go. Before I do my usual 0 to, well, in this thing, 60 to 0, full acceleration, full ABS braking test, there is a secret mode on this called drift mode that Kia built into it, but you need to know the cheat code to access, and I'm going to show you that right now. So you put it in GT mode. Everything goes green, and traction control is limited but not disabled. So you come down here, you hold that down for a couple seconds till you get that message. Traction stability disabled. Now, the tricky part is I need both hands for this, but you put the brake pedal all the way to the floor, and then those two paddles up there, you pull them towards yourselves. So bear with me for just a moment. You'll hear the chime. Drift mode activated. Now, I'm not going to set a bad example for everybody by engaging in some hooliganery using this, but I just wanted to show you all how to turn it on, and maybe we'll do a little bit of sideways in the turnaround here because, well, these Yokohamas are just about shot, and we're 2 days away from getting Pirelli P0s to put on this, so I've got some tires to use up. I might as well try. Let's see just how well she'll kick sideways with a little bit of throttle application coming around here. Outstandingly well. Now, this is a dual motor car, which means it will thump all of that power to its biggest rear-wheel drive motor and limit power to the front-wheel drive when it is in drift mode instead of a balance between the two. Now, if you knock it back into regular, drift mode deactivates, you can hit GT, and now we can pull forward and do a proper launch to test the acceleration and brakes. Okay, staged up. No other trickery here. I haven't found a secret launch mode or anything, so we're just going to put it into GT, which limits the traction control, unlike drift mode. Put our foot down on the brake. Put our foot all the way down on the gas. And, well, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Holy shit. 60. Wowza. ABS to a stop. And it even lit the front tires up trying to pull away on that launch. This is a truly hilarious performance EV. Oh, and listen to the crinkling. Those tires are good and sticky. Actually, I bet now they're hot. They'll give us an even harder launch. We'll do a little one more squeeze just for funsies. 3, 2, 1. Wow. Oh my God, yeah, this thing, honestly, no shade to Tesla's Model S Ludicrous Plus that we have, or the big, Lucid Air Grand Touring that we have. Those accelerate a little bit quicker than this, but oh, the theatrics of speed in this thing are just, it's addicting. It's really, really, really addicting. Like, I'm gonna give you just a little roll on some concrete, so I should have decent traction here. Let's do 30 and down. Oh my God, the front still spun. This is a bonkers automobile. Wow. Yeah, no, 12 out of 10, super cool. Okay, and because I can't help myself, seeing as we're at the front of a light, we're gonna go from eco mode, GT, traction control on, and go so it doesn't smoke those front tires. Jesus! Whew! Yeah, 0 to felony real quick. Oh God, this is yeah. Crap. EVs, man. That dig off the line is prodigious. Now that I'm done driving like an absolute psychopath, let's set the cruise on the frontage road here. Little assisted steering's going on at 50. And just chill for a minute. Mostly to let my heart rate come back down. But, again, we know how quiet and how comfortable these things are on the highway. And honestly, if I could afford to rent out a track day and show you this thing hustling and making full use of the performance suspension on this, I would. But even with this having a stiffer, fully adjustable performance suspension, the seams in the concrete do not jostle you around that much, and these high back sport bucket seats hold you in really, really nicely. And like, again, for commuting and chilling, I'm just gonna keep going down the frontage road here, but crossing the intersection, it loses its guidance on the lanes, little light goes green, picks it right back up again. Again, really, really competent thing. And even as I'm driving, because this is dual motor, in eco mode, the front motor is completely freewheeling, so it's not wasting any electricity, and there's no parasitic power loss. And the rear here is the only one doing the pushing. So if I was to floor it just in eco mode, you'll see it then picks up the front as it needs and puts power down. It uses both for regen, but predominantly the rear for power in your normal drive modes. Again, very, very clever, very fun to drive. And yeah, even on low speed frontage roads, it handles and rides quite well. Okay, fine, I hear you all. Sport mode for a highway passing maneuver. Blinker on, floored. Yeah, this can get you out of trouble almost as quickly as it can get you into it. And we're gonna put the sport suspension on this to a bit of a test here, because we're gonna go on some properly rugged, thank you car, I saw them crossing, on some properly rugged stuff right here, just to show that even, again, stiff, sport-tuned adjustable suspension doesn't have to mean a crashy or uncomfortable ride. So we're gonna dive down this little alleyway quick that I go down with all the cars. Got a manhole cover here, over the top of it. Got a couple of speed bumps and some craters in the road. Take those at 15. Bigger speed bump was good. The little sharper speed bumps, bit more of a thump, but no bouncing, no like jostling. It just kind of holds you in place and sucks up those imperfections. Like, yeah, sports car suspension, you feel it, but it's not gonna, compress your spine any like some of the real full-blown, like track-focused suspensions. And again, I'm running an eco. If I put this in GT mode, it'll stiffen the suspension up more. And yeah, now you can feel a little bit more of those bumps. You'll even probably hear them a little bit more, because GT tightens the suspension all the way up for the best launches and the best handling. But even in this worst case scenario suspension mode, GT over crappy pavement, it just does its thing. It doesn't have to sacrifice ride quality for performance, which is a pretty impressive balance to strike, honestly. There you have it, everybody. Back to our little dirt lot, wrapping everything up on the 2023 Kia EV6 GT. Now, we know the EV6 platform is a fantastic EV platform. Longer wheelbase, very comfortable, a lot of room inside for passengers and for stuff, pretty aerodynamic, charges super duper fast, and with that, all the adaptive driving aids, the advanced cruise controls, just super easy for handling road trip duties or basic commuting. However, if you want an EV with a complete split personality in the best of ways, this thing turns into a psychopath with the push of a button. Now, parked behind it, that is our 2016 Tesla Model S P100D Ludicrous Plus. That is the precursor to the Plaid and formerly the fastest Tesla. That is ever so slightly quicker to 60 miles an hour than this thing by about 2 to 3 tenths of a second. However, the theatrics of speed you get in this thing, the little bit of tire spin up front giving you the sound and the smell of burning rubber, the really good sport bucket seats that hold you in. Like, if you want to take it easy and cruise, this does that great. If you want to light your hair on fire, do some drifting, or go to a local track and lay down a phenomenal time, this does it too. I mean, this is really an EV that can do both, and I can't stop giggling having just flogged this thing on the test drive for you all. So to come down, see why I can't stop laughing, and get a taste of just how good this thing is for yourself, call or text the number that's about to be on screen, or follow the link in the description below to make an appointment. Until then, I've been Dylan, and I'll see you soon.